it seems like all hope has melted away? What is it that keeps us moving forward? Why not just pull the plug and just quicken the inevitable? Why push forward and continue to walk down this twisting and winding road that inevitably leads to our graves? The Horizon by Joe. What kind of Chinese shit is this? The Horizon takes place in a light-drained dystopian future where the government has crumbled, resources are non-existent, and everybody's fucked. Our main protagonist is an average-looking toddler, totally frightened by the current commotion around him. Understandably. His hot and sexy mom makes the hard decision to leave him in a hiding place to keep him safe from the impending danger around them. After a while, the boy's like, "What's that smell? But what the fuck? Why them niggas don't kill my nigga? What?" As the boy looks at his mother's brain-spilled corpse, it takes a while for him to process what he sees before him. Still being the toddler he is, he tries to combat the situation by putting some of his mother's brains back inside of her. But slowly, the innocence of a child begins to wash away as he begins to realize the reality of his mother's death and the impending void of a world she left him to survive in all alone. After embarking for a while on his own, he's like, "My mom just got headshot by some 14-year-old Fortnite demon, bro. Like, man, just kill me off, man. I'm sick of this shit."
Hello there.
Oh, say less.
Hope arrives in the form of a girl who looks to be around the same age as him and just as lost and afraid with the tragic backstory of her own. After a few moments of silence, they decide to move forward together. Throughout the story, the aspect of moving forward is brought up not only by the narration, but the individual characters themselves. But what is the point of moving forward in this non-consensual given life when we're all just gonna die of old age or get headshot? Oh my God. What is the force that tells us to keep going as humans? You see, in a lot of shonen manga and anime, it almost seems like the overarching goal wanting to be the pirate king, the wizard king, the Hokage, whatever the f***. It almost seems like the real reasoning for life are these materialistic human creations that society has deemed important to work and slave for. But what happens when all these things are gone? What happens when humans destroy the very things they deemed important and worthy for striving for? Well, the Horizon answers that question with a very simple answer: ass and thighs. But not only that, people, the relationships we make, the bond we form throughout this journey of life. As our main characters move forward in the world, they come across a man, psyched out of his mind, stripped down to his most primal functions. But when he finds out that there are others like him, some of his humanity begins to come back, and he even begins to move forward with them. At the end of his arc, even speaking in human language for the first time in the story, when the characters are forced to fatally injure and abandon him because of Along the way, our characters meet a doctor who spends his time quick-scoping the people who took away his family and relationships, letting himself be swallowed up by the endless void of vengeance and hatred, while covering it up with self-righteous speech about the greater good and removing evil from the world. Later on in the story, we are taken along with a group that has nowhere to go in this destruction of modern society. We quickly come to realize that the things moving them forward aren't the dreams and aspirations they may have had in their past life. It's the bonds they have created in this hell of a setting that keeps them smiling. However, when one of them is found to have a deadly, contagious disease, the tone begins to darken as they realize they will not be together for much longer. One by one as the characters begin to die, we see how each character's world crumbles until they eventually stop moving forward and die alone. You know, I never thought I'd be able to feel the emotions that I did by the end of this short little 21 chapter manhwa. I mean, the only reason I started reading this was because of the art. I mean, look at this shit. This shit is immaculate, my nigga. All in all, the story left me feeling sort of nihilistic of the world in a way that I've never felt before. That maybe all this shit doesn't matter, at least not as much as we think it does. But at the same time, it made me appreciate the relationships that I have with people because they really give me that extra push from the back.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
They give me that extra nudge to keep it moving down this pointless road called life.